a story of exploitation, cruelty, and the commodification of the bodies of innocent blacks who were stolen from their continent and shipped aboard the Atlantic to a foreign land, terribly tortured, enslaved, and as though not enough, whose bodies were, to the very extreme utmost degradation, used for the leathers of shoes, bags, wallets, furnitures, wristwatches, and so on and so forth. We will explore the history of black leather, the people who were affected by it, and the lasting impact it has had on the lives of black people today.
Peace and love, peace and love. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, thank you for joining us today. Today, we're diving into a chilling and often hidden chapter of history, one that reveals the horrifying depths and dehumanizing during slavery and beyond. We'll be discussing the practice of using human skin, specifically that of enslaved individuals, to create leather goods like shoes and clothing. This is not just a story of the past, it's a reflection of how systematic oppression can manifest in the most brutal ways. I'll be reading from two sources, an insightful article from the Jim Crow Museum and another compelling piece from Trove, which together sheds light on the horrific reality. This video is meant to educate, uncover the truth, and spark meaningful conversations, so stay tuned and let's get into it. Peace and love, family.
On behalf of Akuno Senko for Bay, you know what I'm saying? Jay, where you at? We're trying to help our people elevate. Hope. H-O-P-E. We're giving them hope. We doing what we gotta do, you know? Every day, one step at a time, man. We gonna make it happen. Helping our people elevate. Yeah. Sometimes I practice focus, thought, and meditate. I'm trying to come with other ways to help our people elevate and seeking knowledge, make me levitate. The lifted mental state is what results from how we orchestrate. This for the family's sake. Let's self-reflect and self-evaluate. And every day, make sure the steps you take, you calculate. Receive a master's fate. I know I can't exist without the hate, but that's okay. I balance that with higher self today. Success is on this way, and after that, my flesh can pass away.
Peace, family. Today we're going to go over the artisans of workshops of secrets. In the dim glow of secrecy, a solitary figure toils in the chilling crafts, blurring the lines between inequity and humanity, a haunting portrayal of historic exploitation and mystery. We'll start with this article from the Jim Crow on human leather. This article was written in 2013. But the question is, I don't mean to sound morbid, but I heard the skin of slavery, Arab black people were sometimes used as clothes. Is it probably an urban legend? This was from Jenkins Petaway of Montgomery, Alabama, that asked this question. And the answer was, unfortunately, there is some truth to what you ask. I have read about many deplorable practices that occurred during slavery and Jim Crow in this country. I have no interest in ranking their atrocities, but I can tell you that the account that troubled me the most was that about the flesh of dead Africans and African Americans being used to make shoes. I believe I first read about this in the archives of the Mountain Journal, but I could be wrong. I do not believe that this practice was widespread or long-lived, but it did occur. Maybe it would be best if I attached a newspaper transcript that describes the practice. It is gruesome, but then so was slavery and Jim Crow. Leather from human skins. I remember 2 or 3 years ago, I accidentally referred to a prominent physician of this city wearing shoes made from the skin of Negroes. He still adhered to that custom, insisting that the tanned hide of an African makes the most enduring and that most pliable leather known to man. Only last week, I met him up on the street with a brand new pair of shoes. I looked at his footwear, as I always do. His pedal covering had an irresistible fascination for me, and said this with a smile. Is this the trodden African still beneath your feet? In the most matter-of-fact way, and without a shadow of a smile, he answered, I suppose you mean to inquire if I still wear the shoes made of the skin of a Negro. I certainly do, and I don't propose changing that in respect until I find a leather that is softer and will last longer and present a better appearance. I have no sentiment about this matter, where I am a Southerner in the American sense of the word. I might be accused of actuated by a race of prejudice, but I am a foreigner by birth, although now an American citizen by naturalization. I fought in the rebellion that the blacks might be freed. I will use the white man's skin for the same purpose if it were sufficiently thick, and if any of the ones has a desire to wear its epidermis upon his feet after I have drawn my last breath, he has my anti-modern permission. The doctor's shoes always exhibit a peculiar rich lustrousness in their blackness. He assured me that they never hurt his feet. The new pair he was using when I last saw him emitted no creaking sound and appeared as comfortable as though they had been worn for a month. Their predecessors, he told me, had been in a constant use for 8 months. He obtained the skin from the bodies of Negroes which had been dissected in one of our biggest medical colleges. The best leather is obtained from the thighs. The soles are formed by placing several layers of leather together. The skin is prepared by a tanner at Wusendorf, 16 miles from Reading. The shoes are fashioned by a French shoemaker of this city who knows nothing of the true character of this leather, but who often wonders at its exquisite smoothness and says that it excels the finest French calf skin. Do not for a moment think that this doctor presents an exceptional case for one who puts human skin to a practical use. Medical students frequently display the great variety of articles in which in the skin or bones of some dissected mortals have been gruesomely utilized, and in a burst of generosity there sometimes presents there of their friends who prize them highly. One of the dudest dudes in town carries a match safe covered with a portion of the skin of a beautiful young woman who was found drowned in the Delaware River. It still remains a natural color. Another young man with whom I am acquainted carries a cigar case made of Negro skin, a ghastly skull and crossbone appearing on one side in relief. One of the best known surgeons in this country, who resides in this city, has a beautiful instrument case entirely covered with leather made from an African skin. A young society lady of the city wears a beautiful pair of dark slippers, the remarkable lustrousness of whose leather invariably excites the administration of her friend when they see them. The young doctor who presented them to her recently returned from an extended foreign tour, and he told her that he had purchased them from a Turk in Alexandria, and that he did not know what sort of leather they were made of, but he supposed it was from the skin of some wild animal. As a matter of fact, the skin came from a Negro cadaver, which was once prone at the Jefferson College dissecting table, and the leather was prepared in Walsendorf. The rosettes on the slippers were definitely fashioned from a Negro's kinky hair. As he was discussing all the various different types of material that were made with the skin of our ancestors, I wanted to dive deeper into it. So this trove article was from a newspaper, and if I'm correct, yeah, it was published in March 17th, 1888. You see it right here. But I wanted to analyze, yeah, this is the actual newspaper article. But I wanted to analyze what he was saying. And so here I'll read it, but I'm going to highlight the key pointers that caught my attention. We're going to put this about right here, family. Y'all can see that, right? That should be good. Yeah, about right. About right here. So, leather from human skin. Philadelphia News. I remember that 2 or 3 years ago, I incidentally referred to a prominent physician of this city wearing shoes made of the skin of Negroes. He still adhered to that custom, insisting that the tan hide of an African makes the most enduring and the most pliable leather known to man. Only last week, I met him up the street with a brand new pair of shoes. I looked at his footwear as I always do. His pedal covering had an irresistible fascination for me and said this with a smile. Is the downtrodden African still beneath your feet? In the most matter-of-fact way, and without a shadow of a smile, he answered, I suppose you mean to inquire if I still wear shoes made of the skin of a Negro. I certainly do, and I don't propose changing in that respect until I find a leather that is softer and will last longer and present a better appearance. So as you see here, he said, I still wear the shoes made of the skin of a Negro. I certainly do. Let's look at what else he says. I have no sentiment about this matter. While I am a Southerner in the American sense of the word, I might be accused of being actuated by a race prejudice, but I am a foreigner by birth, but now an American citizen by naturalization. And if y'all follow my platform, y'all have heard me speaking on the Naturalization Act and how they came and took land by claiming to be citizens for a couple years, and then they got naturalized. He just openly said, I am a foreigner by birth, but now an American citizen by naturalization. So look up the Naturalization Act. You'll know exactly what he's talking about. I fought in the rebellion that blacks might be freed. I would use a white man's skin for the same purpose if it were sufficiently thick, and if anyone has a desire to wear my epidermis upon his feet after I drawn my last breath, he has my ante-mortem permission. We're gonna make this quick. We ain't gonna go all the way keep reading because y'all already read this. I read it to y'all once before, but I'm gonna just highlight a certain couple parts that caught my attention. Right here. But it said he obtained the skin from the bodies of Negroes which had been dissected in one of our biggest medical colleges. That's crazy to me. I'm gonna have to look up what college that was. Then there was another part that caught my attention where it said that it was a French shoemaker who made the shoes or fashioned the shoes, but he knew nothing about the true characters of the leather. And so they had this man making these shoes. He didn't even know that they came from African skin or deceased skin. That's crazy to me. But it shows you what they'll do. Like you said, if you wonder if I still had them underneath my feet. Another part that caught my attention when we talked about this dude with a pot of the skin of a beautiful young woman. That caught my attention. And then they said it still remained in it retains its natural color. That caught my attention. Then they had it where the guy with the cigarette case or the cigar case made the Negro skin and the skull and crossbone appearing on one side of relief. So I mean, there were many things that they did with our skin. Even today, it makes you question the leather that we wear. Where does it come from? They talked about the lady, a society who wore the beautiful pair of dark slippers with leather. They came from an African or an ancestor, I'll say. I'm not going to say African, an ancestor. I can continue, but like, y'all see it. As a matter of fact, the skin came from a Negro cadaver. You know what I'm saying? So, I didn't make this up. This was published in 1888 in a news article. Let's see, what's the name of the article? The Mercury, Saturday morning, March 17th, 1888. The Mercury, Saturday morning, March 17th, 1888. So the Mercury is the paper that published this in 1888. If you made it this far, I want to say I appreciate your family. Thank you for watching. If you found this topic thought-provoking or learned something new, make sure you hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. I love to hear your perspective, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into history, mystery, and untold stories. I'll see y'all next time. Peace and love, family.